A live from here at Reach in Accra, the Akuya Boahima studio. I am Bright Nanakusi Amani. These are the headlines. Conflict between Electricity Company of Ghana and the people of Krobo gradually degenerating as angry residents of Akuse serve electricity poles in protest against their disconnection from the national grid. Student Loan Trust Fund to prosecute persons who have defaulted in repayment of their loans starting in September. Concerned members of the liquefied petroleum gas value chain give government a month's ultimatum to address other concerns or face another strike less than 24 hours after their key demand was met. And on the international front, Senegalese government signs a peace deal with rebels from the country's southern province of Casamance, likely to end decades-long conflict. Thank you for joining us here on the news tonight. Now, unidentified persons have cut down an ECG high-tension pole at Adakope near Akuse Junction in the Yilo Krobo municipality of the Eastern region. The person reportedly carried out the act around 11 p.m. on Thursday night. It is suspected to be linked to the current impasse between ECG and its customers in the Krobo area, which have resulted in the former denying electricity to the later since July 27th.
The culprits were said to have cut down the pole with the help of a chainsaw, disrupting power supply to some communities like Adakope, Adelakope, Akole on the Dodowa Road and Asesiaso. The high tension holds 33,000 kilowatts, which can cost around 5,000 cedis to fix. They said this action stopped the Kole Water Booster Station and Edukom Water Works Booster Station from functioning throughout the day. The assemblyman of Okwenya electoral area in the Yilo Krobo municipality said they suspect that some of their people did this intentionally since this area is not part of the darkness so that they will all be on the same level.
Since last week, we were having light. The whole of Somanya, Udumase, and others were in total darkness. But my area, we were having light. Okwenya, Gamakope, Adankope, and Adelakope, we are having light. So it was just yesterday evening that this happened. So as it has been, we came around, we saw it's someone who came to do it. And we are just suspecting that maybe these people wanted to do this so that everyone will be in the darkness. So that is it. But we suspected someone, but just that we can't figure out the exact person.
The assemblyman added that he and his community are going to protect the poles from today.
I've informed my guys because the ECG manager told me they don't have enough poles, so they will find it difficult to get this pole to replace. So I told my guys from now onwards we are going to be monitoring. We put our eyes down and monitor. When we see anyone around that we suspect maybe the person is coming to attack or do anything to affect the power, to just question the person. If the response are not tangible, we just hand over the person to ECG or Ghana Police.
Some residents also shared what their experience have been in the wake of the impasse.
Our phones are off. We cannot communicate with those outside because we have no light to charge our phones, and we cannot hear even from them.
The ECG PR of the area, Sechiwa Mensah, also spoke to Metro News.
We made a formal report to the Ghana Police and investigations are underway. However, the update is that as at this evening, we've been able to fix the pole, and we've been able to restore supply to the affected areas because we are able to work freely in those areas. We don't have any threatening situation. We are able to get to all of our installations in those areas, and thanks to that conducive environment, we've been able to do the work within today, and power has been restored.
We are now joined by our Eastern Regional Correspondent Kofi Ajay for an update on the issue. Hello, welcome and good evening to Newsnight. Now, what is the situation currently in the affected area in the Krobo municipality, Kofi?
Now, I just got to Somenya roundabout. As I was moving from Akuse, some part of the place which was cut off this morning, the ECD has been able to install their lights for them. But, that place is also part of Somenya and Yellow Krobo as well. And so speaking to the residents there, they think the people who did this move from somewhere around the Somenya area where they don't have lights, because for them, throughout the whole week, they have lights in their area. And some of the Somenya people even move to their places to charge their phones. So for them to wake up to see their phone down, they are not surprised because they feel it's coming from the Somenya people. And they are going to protect their lives from now going. So this is what happened there.
And has the perpetrators been found yet?
No, the thing happened late in the night. And even for them, they thought it was a normal light out. So somebody reported to them that one of their high tension is down. The high tension weighs about, they said, when they talk to the ECD, they say it's about 33,000 kV. Light to Aduchrome Waterworks booster area, light to some part of Koforodia and some part of Somenya as well. Their lights went off, they couldn't supply light throughout the whole night and even today as well.
All right, Kofi, the assemblyman mentioned that they will constitute a task force to protect the electricity poles in the area. How is it turning out?
Come again, please.
I'm saying that the assemblyman mentioned that they will constitute some people to protect the electricity poles in the area. How is it turning out?
The assemblyman said that he and his boys are going to be around. Even when I was coming, some boys have already moved to their place. Yeah, I think they said they will change shift to tomorrow morning, and they will do that for a week and check that for some time and see if nobody will come. But anytime their lights went off, they will also start going around to check. This time, they have to be careful. Instead of thinking that it's a normal light out, it might be that somebody has even pulled down their poles again.
All right. Thank you for time. That's here tonight, Kofi.
And let me add that on a normal day, when you get to Somenya, especially this but you see light everywhere. It's so unfortunate that we couldn't go on Zoom. But every place is dark. You can see darkness everywhere in Somenya right now as I'm speaking to you.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you later if there's any other development to share with our viewers. Kofi Ajay is our Eastern Regional Correspondent. Away from that, now the Students' Loan Trust Fund SLTF has committed to prosecute beneficiaries who have defaulted in repayment of their loans in September. The Students' Loan Trust Fund Act 820/2011 has prescribed various steps that the trust fund should take in recovering their loan. These steps include sending reminders through emails, text messaging, and also through their guarantors, as well as the publication of pictures and details of the 14 borrowers in the national media. The Chief Executive of Student Loan Trust Fund SLTF, Nana Kweku Ajay joins us over the telephone for some discussions on this particular issue this evening. Good evening to you, sir. Welcome to Newsnight here on Metro TV. Now, how much money is at stake as we speak?
Yeah, good evening. We are talking about annually we set a target. If you read the publication that we made, we've set a target of 70 million that's our target to recover this year. And that's what the whole deal about the recovery month is about.
And what do you think could account for the guarantees refusing to pay for the money you've borrowed from your outfit?
Excuse me, I couldn't get you.
If I'm asking, what do you think might be the problem as to why those who came for the money are unable to pay the monies?
Okay, actually, you see, when a student takes the loan, it takes as long as you are at tertiary. Let's say if the course is about 4 years or 6 years, at the end of when you graduate from college, you have the first year you don't have to pay, the second year, so you have 2-year moratorium. Then the third year kicks in and repayment starts. So the loan travels for another 8 years. So on the whole, you have 10 years to pay. And as we go along, people continue paying. There are a whole lot of borrowers who are paying, but we have a segment that for the 10 years they've not paid, so they've gone over the repayment period. Those are the borrowers that we are targeting in this publication.
But your office is mandated to use other means, including text and email reminders. Have you exhausted all those before the prosecution path?
Yes, we've done everything. We continue to communicate. Actually, we've come up with various aggressive recovery methods, including text messages, emails, even using employers, deduction. And we've also created, we wanted to make repayment easier. And people can go to GC Bank, NIB, GT Bank, EcoBank, Ghana.gov platform, ADB, and also we've created, we have Momo. We can pay by Momo. You dial *737 *206 hash, and then it gives you prompts to pay. You can pay by check and all that, and people can even walk to our office. Even for those outside the country, we've done what we call a diaspora recovery program, and we set up platforms for them to pay. So people are paying in when they are outside the country using either their MasterCard or Visa to pay. So we've done every prompt, and as mandated by law, there was a time that we did even publication. We published defaulters' names and faces on our website and in the daily graphic. So prosecution is the last resort. So we are resorting, and we are backed by law to do that.
And how has the inability of these borrowers not been able to pay their money affected their scheme?
The inability of borrowers to pay money, I mean, the sustainability of the fund depends on remains solvent. So recovery is key, is critical. So by this publication, we are in no way suggesting that the fund is in danger of being maintained.
All right.
What we are doing is that we want, each year we set up 1 month as recovery month. That is when we go to platforms like yours to amplify and also to educate people about repayment, where they need to go to pay. But more importantly, we've started doing financial literacy program that we want the clientele to understand that if you take the loan and you pay, you are building your own credit history. So now our student loan is in link with our credit reference bureaus and the banks. So as you continue to pay and we reporting, you are building a credit history. So if the student understands that if I take the loan and I pay, it's going to make it easier for me to get other loans from the banks. And if you are not paying, then you are jeopardizing your own credit. So that's the message out there that we are giving. So we are not in danger because of our defaulters. A lot more are paying, but we need to also communicate because we are doing aggressive recovery. and we have a target that we need to meet.
A quick one before you go. You mentioned that the set target for recoveries for this year is at 70 million Ghana cedi. We are in the 8th month of this year. How much money have we recovered so far?
We've recovered, we certainly, we've recovered about 65 million, and we're working towards getting the 70 million.
All right, thank you for your time with us on the news tonight, sir. We are grateful. So Nana Kweku J. Yeboah is the Chief Executive of Student Loan Trust Fund, SLTF, here in Ghana. Away from that, concerned members of the liquefied petroleum gas value chain have given government a month ultimatum to have some issues left unresolved met after lifting the ban on construction of new and ongoing LPG stations. According to the outfit, should government fail to fulfill their part of the bargain, as discussed, they will be left with no option than to stage another strike.
A meeting with the National Petroleum Authority and the LPG Marketers Association, together with some stakeholders, concluded on an agreement to honor concerns of the association within a space of a month. The meeting that took place in the early hours of Friday addressed some pertinent issues left unaddressed by the Petroleum Authority prior to the call-in for the strike on Monday, August 1. Though the strike has been called off following a directive by the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) to lift the ban on construction of new and completion of LPG stations across the country, the association says, should government fail to honor the commitment within a month, its members will be obliged to embark on yet another strike. The association further revealed that they have instructed the various tanker drivers to immediately resume distribution of LPG across the country while they wait for government to address their other concerns. It remains uncertain whether or not the tracking device implanted on the various tankers will be removed or maintained, a key concern by the drivers for attention, which they say have caused the lives of some colleagues, hence a demand for their removal.
So on the back of this, joining me via phone is Director of Communications at the National Petroleum Authority, Mohammed Abdul Kudus. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, my brother.
So after paying way for the constructions to continue on, which are the new standards your outfit will be looking out for in the construction of the new LPG stations?
Thank you very much. Let me say good evening to you. Good evening to your cherished viewers. We've actually not radically reviewed our standards at all. So they practically remain the same as in the procedure. So the Town and Country Planning now looks for Ghana Fire Service, Environmental Protection Authority, Environmental Protection Agency, the local assembly, all will be playing their part in determining the suitability or otherwise of a siting of a filling station at a particular point. And so we just want to find a way of crossing the T's and dotting the I's so that we do not leave any gaps. So if you are able to still pass the mark, you go back and continue with your construction. That's basically what we're going to do.
All right, and what is the state of the cylinder recirculation model?
Okay, the cylinder recirculation model is yet to really start. We've had pilots across some districts. We're hoping to launch it or start a full scale from the last quarter of this year, hopefully after September. And then we'll see where it takes us to. It is, without a doubt, something that has been practiced in several countries that has registered to a very large degree, bears minimum of accident and its impact as against what we saw the last time we had an accident around Atomic Junction.
But why has it taken so long for it to take full effect?
Oh, it requires a lot of infrastructure to really be able to take full effect. We need a certain quantity of production of cylinders for the market. That's one.
we need adequate bottling plants dotted strategically across the country. That is true. And these two are critical infrastructures till we are able to guarantee of ourselves their adequacy. I don't think that full-scale implementation of the cylinder recirculation model would actually be good to start. But like I said, we're hoping that what we have been able to monitor and see for ourselves last quarter of this month is good enough for us to start rolling out the program.
Now, lifting the ban is one out of numerous concerns by the LPG marketers. They have raised concerns and also given government 1 month ultimatum for their other concerns to be addressed. How do you respond to this issue here?
Okay, so I think with the LPG marketers association, we've basically have resolved their concerns. Their concerns had to do with the suspension of their ongoing facilities, which have actually been lifted. Then the other issue had to do with the Tanker Drivers Association of petrol, diesel, LPG, who still have some teething issues that want to be addressed. We had a meeting this morning. They've resolved to suspend their strike and accordingly have done so. We're supposed to reconvene on Monday to really have a bigger discussion, because at the time we're having the meeting this morning, the technical people behind the service that is being provided, for which the tanker drivers have 1 or 2 issues with, were not present in the meeting, and we've determined or rescheduled that next Monday we should meet, and we're hoping that the timeline that has actually been established would have gotten all issues addressed and would not have what we registered or saw in the last 1 week.
And you are sure that the 1 month ultimatum given government will not be met and that government will resolve all their problems?
Yes, in this case, I speak for the National Petroleum Authority, even though an agency of the ministry. I need to be very careful not to position myself as speaking for government. But like I said, from our position as an authority, we're convinced that we should be able to work around the clock and within the very time that we've established for ourselves after the meeting to resolve the issues and not to register once again what we saw last week.
All right, thank you for your time with us on the news tonight.
My pleasure.
Mohammed Abdul Kudus is the Director of Communication at the National Petroleum Authority. You're still watching us live here on News Night. A quick 10, we will be back. Stay with us.
I've heard people saying that with a lot of ampers of the fishing that they are getting right now is as a result of the closure of the season, which has helped them a lot. And to be honest, I don't think that is the main solution.
And thank you for staying with us here on the news tonight. As part of his tour of the Upper East region, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on Friday commissioned a €37.6 million water supply project, which is expected to save about 350,000 people in the region.
In 2018, government secured funding from the Netherlands government and the €25 million facility from ING Bank, also from the Netherlands, to implement the Upper East Region Water Supply Project. Now completed, the Upper East Region Water Supply System will provide residents of Bolgatanga, Navrongo, Paga and its environs with 20,500 cubic meters of water per day, which is approximately 4.5 million gallons of water per day.
People of Bolgatanga, Navrongo, Paga and its environs with 20,500 cubic meters of water per day, which is approximately 4.5 million gallons of water per day, a threefold increase from the 1.5 million gallons a day currently available to the region.
President Akufo-Addo stressed that his government will continue to provide the needed social infrastructure for communities across the country.
Falls in line with the program of government to achieve the target set under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 6 of ensuring the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Government remains committed to creating an enabling environment through the provision of social infrastructure that will attract businesses to our communities.
He urged residents to maintain the facility.
As to stay with the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he has assured Ghanaians that any agreement reached with the International Monetary Fund will not affect flagship programs like the free senior high school policy. In an interview with UAR Radio in Bolgatanga, he said the government's pro-poor policies will remain intact.
I think that's something that a lot of people are forgetting. When we came into office, we were under an IMF program. Yes, in 2017 we were. In fact, we did not exit the IMF program until April of 2019. The SHS policy was introduced in September of my first term in office, within 9 months of my coming under an IMF program. So it's already been accommodated within the thinking of a fund program for Ghana. It isn't as if it is something that we had to wait to exit the program before we brought it. We brought it at the time we were under an IMF program. And I find it very illogical for us to have a program we started under an IMF program, and because we're going to have a new one, sacrifice it. That doesn't make sense, and it will not happen. The structural transformation that we have to make about our economy to make it a more robust and resilient economy. That is why we've had this emphasis on industrial transformation coming out of the 1D1F program and certain other targeted industrial transformation measures that we've taken in the automotive industry, in enhancing the value addition to our strategic mineral resources like our bauxite and iron ore, etc. Those are the real keys to a future robust Ghanaian economy. That we will have an economy that is self-sufficient in the sense that the basic needs of the people are produced by Ghanaian production. So we have to go down that line. But every now and then, like what has happened to us, you can get exogenous factors that bring a big impact on your, for instance, your balance of payments that we had. Oil prices, the budget that we made for 2022, was a budget that was based on an oil price, a crude oil price of $64. But most of this year, crude oil prices have gone up to over 100. And as we speak, it is still over 100. So you're talking about a 2/3 increase in the price of crude oil as a result of factors that are completely beyond our control. And we are a net importer of crude. Yes, we are an exporter, but overall we are a net importer of crude. So you can imagine what that did to our balance of payments. Provisions that had been made to guarantee the continuous supply of crude for both domestic as well as industrial and economic consumption.
Still with the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he has appointed Edward Asumani as the new National Security Coordinator in the latest announcement effecting changes at the leadership level of the national security apparatus. Asumani's appointment takes effect from August 8. A statement issued by the Office of the President reads, in accordance with Section 21 of the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act 2020, Act 1030, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has subsequently appointed Edward Asumani, Deputy National Security Coordinator, to act as the National Security Coordinator with effect from Monday, August 8, 2022. The confirmation of the appointment is subject to the receipt of the constitutionally required advice of the National Security Council, given in consultation with the Public Services Commission. The statement also added that Major General retired Francis Edu Amanfo, who was the National Security Coordinator, has been reassigned by the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to act as the Special Advisor to the President for the Accra Initiative. Staying on security, the police have interdicted 2 officers, Isaac Amponsa Bruni and Solomon Yebua, to allow the investigation into the circumstances that led to the death of a suspect who was under detention at the Abrafo Kokobin police station in the Ashanti region. In a statement issued by the Ashanti Regional Police Command, the two interdicted officers said the deceased suspect, who was arrested on August 4, 2022, fell ill while in police custody and was rushed to the hospital for medical attention but died. The body of the deceased has been deposited at the Konfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital for preservation and autopsy. The Ashanti Regional Police Commander has led a delegation to visit the family of the deceased suspect and urged them to remain calm as investigation into the incident continues. The Inspector General of Police has also spoken with the bereaved family and assured them of a thorough investigation into the matter. So one of the children of the couple found dead in their home at Ebuakwa Makrum in the Ashanti region has opened up about why they stopped eating. According to the boy, they decided to stop eating because their parents told them food was scarce.
A couple, Samuel Jackson and his wife, Ernestina Jackson, were found dead in their room on July 27, 2022, when police entered their rented apartment. Their children, young Jackson and his brother, were found in an unconscious state and were rushed to the Ebuakwa Polyclinic. The two children have regained consciousness and are in stable condition. Currently, the eldest son of the couple appears to be highly traumatized and unable to speak properly. The younger Jackson, however, disclosed that they refused to eat for religious reasons. The child further explained that they ran out of food for a period of time in the house, but were locked inside the apartment, so could not go out to get some food. According to the medical superintendent of the Ebuakwa Polyclinic, Dr. Mensa Manye, when the two children, who are about 11 and 13 years respectively, were brought to the facility, they were dehydrated and very weak. Meanwhile, the Ghana Psychological Association says it will offer free psychosocial services to the children. The association said it was touched by the plight of the children after monitoring the story.
Now, the close fishing season has ended and fisherfolk at the Jamestown Fishing Harbour have welcomed the return of fishing with mixed feelings. Now, according to them, even though this season is projected to see bountiful harvest, issues around Prometheus and foreign nationals on the sea are hampering their works. They were speaking to Shadrach Odamiejari on the effect of the closed season.
On August 1, Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Mavis Hawa Kumsin, hinted of an open season. This is for inshore and then artisanal fisher folks. She also mentioned that the closed season will even help fisher folks once the season is open. But is it true? How relevant is this closure of the sea to the fisher folks? Are they really seeing bumper harvest after the sea was opened?
The closure of the sea was beneficial. It helped a lot of us. Catch has been good so far.
We are now catching different kinds of fishes. The past few days have been very bountiful after the close season.
Even though they have described the closure as a necessary evil and to a larger extent beneficial to their work, Eric maintains bumper harvest in August is always a natural phenomenon and not as a result of the closed season.
I've heard people saying that with a lot of ampers of the fishing that they are getting right now is as a result of the closure of the season, which has helped them a lot. And to be honest, I don't think that is the main solution.
Okay. Why?
I don't think. Because it's something nature. From June, July, we all know that when you get to that season, the sea gets very cold in such a way that the fish also move from far distance to where the fisher folks, exactly there, especially the canoe. People can get there and then harvest their fishes.
For these fishermen, the most striking concern is the partisan distribution of premixed fuel and the invasion of foreign nationals on their waters.
one, it's unavailable, and two, now we having it as a partisan. We are having the premise being there. People are fighting over the premise because they are having the people of NPP being in power, and due to that, they don't have the chance to get the premise as they want. Initially, that's what they were doing. They were selling it for the members of the NPP, and now it has come to a place that even when the premise come around, people even don't get it. Those selling it will own it as their own benefit.
Why do we sit down and allow foreign nationals to take over our waters? They hoard most of our fishes and sell them at expensive prices later.
These foreign nationals sometimes kill and bury our men in the sea. Their activities are very worrisome.
Concerns have been raised. Fisher folks have told us their side of the story. They've told us how beneficial the close season is to their work as fishermen. They've also laid their plea before the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture to at least make sure pre-mixed fuel is made available and then quite cheaper to help their work. My name is Shadrach Odame Ejari from here at the Jamestown Fishing Harbour.
Live from our studios here at Regional Accra, the Akuya Bohima studio. We are on DSTV, channel 277. A quick break. When we come back, Washington Tuck will be here with business.
Welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to our first business story. There are reported incidents of fuel shortages at some fuel stations across the country. According to the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, this should be resolved in the next few days as petroleum tankers meet distribution demands nationwide.
So from COPEX investigation, there are a lot of products in the system. We don't have any import disruptions. However, because of the strike by the BRV drivers on Monday, they were not able to distribute products across the country. And that is why we are observing certain shortages at some of the retail outlets in Ghana. However, the strike has been called off, and we think that beginning today, products will be distributed across the country. We have observed that products loading started somewhere at 12 p.m. Today, and shorter distances, I think in about 3 hours, products will get to their destination, that is the retail outlets. At longer distances, maybe by tomorrow, products will get to these retail outlets. So between this evening and tomorrow by 12 p.m., any retail outlets in Ghana will have products. It took us a long time, rather, for almost 5 years to resolve a challenge that we could have used at least 3 months in resolving. So why should we people go to the banks to take loans, construct retail outlets, and then you tell them to put them on hold for almost 5 years without resolving an issue that should have been resolved in 3 months?
Now, the S&P Global Ghana Purchasing Managers Index for July has revealed a 6th consecutive monthly deterioration in business conditions in Ghana.
Sustained declines in activity and subsequent reductions in backlogs led firms to cut their headcounts for the first time in 11 months. That said, output and new orders fell only slightly, at the softest rates for 7 and 5 months, respectively. Firms, meanwhile, maintained an optimistic view toward output amid hopes that global economic conditions will improve. Turning to prices, overall input costs continued to increase sharply amid higher fuel and raw material prices, although the rate of inflation eased notably from June and was the weakest since in February. Selling prices also rose at a softer pace, with the rate of increase easing to a 5-month low in July. The S&P Global Ghana Purchasing Managers Index posted a neutral value of 50 for the 6th month in succession, indicating a deteriorating in business conditions at 48.8 in July, up from 48.5 in June. The latest decline eased from that seen in the previous survey period and was the weakest for 5 months. Output fell again in July, a trend observed since the start of the year. The overall rate of contraction was fractional, however, and the weakest in the current 7-month sequence of decline. Firms continued to report weak demand conditions, though some respondents reported that price pressures started to moderate. After expanding in each of the previous 10 months, staffing levels at Ghanaian firms fell in July. The rate of decline was marginal. However, there were widespread reports of higher transportation, staff and fuel costs, as well as unfavorable exchange rates movements against the dollar.
That's all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. Sports is next with Phil John Corte after this break. It's 49 past 19 hours GMT. My name is Phil John Corte, and it's time for your sports. A 3-year deal, sponsorship deal has been reached for the National Women's League. Guinness Ghana Limited reached an agreement with the FA today in the nation's capital.
I think this is a special day, not for just me, for everyone who has followed the women's game all these years. Like you rightfully said, we've not had a headline sponsorship for as long as I can remember, actually. And for the first time ever, during the season that just ended, we also had the women's game on TV, thanks to Max TV, through Star Times, and I believe that this is a new water that is being charted, is a path that we are charting, and it's a good thing for the women's game, because I believe that what Malta Guinness has done is going to open bigger doors. It's a great sponsorship, and we are hoping that even bigger will come after this one.
It's super refreshing because we've been looking for this for a very long time, and we've been trying. The vice president, the chairperson, the vice chairperson, the president, we've all been trying so hard. So we're really, really glad that somebody actually paid attention to us, took us seriously, and is doing this for us. We're looking forward to what Malta Guinness can provide to us, and I'm hoping that it goes beyond the initial 3 years and it continues for as long as possible. I mean, look at what has happened all around the world. Look in the US, look in Europe, look at the World Cup. Look at Costa Rica, the princesses are going. Look at what just happened in the Euros. Women's football is on the rise. It's a fact. And if you say you can't see, then you're probably not looking. And I think that now is the time to jump in, where we're on the ground floor. It's at this point in time, it's easy to get in. It's easy to get connected to people. It's easy to have your way if you're interested in doing something in women's football. I think now is the time, because at a point in time when it becomes so properly structured and developed like we have in Europe and other countries, it's going to be very, very difficult for people who are not interested to have their way. So now is the time to get in, and now is the time to take advantage.
Cleopatra Nketia over there, she's a board member of the National Women's League. Earlier you heard Hilary Boatin, she's the chairperson of the League Board for Women's Football here in Ghana. Let's go to the Commonwealth Games and focus on the 200 meters semi-final. Ghana's Joseph Paul Amo has qualified for the final after placing second. Is the hit you see him on your screen. Pretty soon. Good news for Ghana in athletics. Joseph Paul Amo will be in the finals of the 200 meters after finishing second in the semi-finals. The race was won by an athlete from Trinidad and Tobago by name Jeron Richards, who won by 20.6 seconds. Here you see the Ghanaian over there, Joseph Paul Amo. He will be in the finals after placing second in the semi-final. That's your sports. My name is Phil John Corte. Silva is ready for showbiz now.
Well, it's time for entertainment news. My name is Asiodua Akumia. The Best Rap Performance winner at the 2022 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, Lyrical Joe, has today released the 6th edition of his yearly rap freestyle titled 5th August.
Here to stay, guess I'm on a lay. That's you rappers meet, weak like Wednesday. Next, my swag funk, I flex, you rappers break.
The talented rapper has yet again showed his rap prowess in his latest 5th August rap song, which released today. Speaking to Metro News, Lyrical Joe expressed the feel of this year's song.
The release on this very day is more like a breaking free of myself. Like I broke free with this, and with this one I really have much, at stake and everything with the mantle that I hold currently. So yeah, this is top notch. If you watch the video, the audio, the mixing, the mastering, the video is an improvement from last year's. The audio, the song, the quality, and everything. So yeah, definitely everything is top notch this year than last year.
The win-win rapper believes he would win the Best Rap Performance category at next year's awards.
I'm hopeful. Me personally, this is my terrain. This is what I do, and I do it at ease. So I was just looking for the chance to sit on the throne, and I know that when I sit there, it's not no one is taking me off, and finally God placed me there, so we're good.
This is the rapper's 5th August freestyle release after first dropping it in 2018. Lyrical Joe, since his entry into the Ghanaian music scene, has won lots of hearts, both in Ghana and beyond with his style. He signed on to 2MG Music label owned by renowned producer Mixmaster Ghazi.
Dismiss I can sack your last album with no pressure. Sack first, nomination first, win record.
Lyrical Joe. Now, away from that, the movie Aloe Vera was set to hit Netflix today, August 5, but fans woke up to discover that the movie wasn't launched as promised. The movie director, Peter Sedofia, and his team queried Netflix only to be told the movie launch has been moved to September 9, 2022.
The romantic comedy movie Aloe Vera, written, produced and directed by filmmaker Peter Sedofia, which was to premiere on streaming platform Netflix today, 5th August, has been postponed to 9th September 2022. According to filmmaker Peter Sedofia, he woke up to discover that Aloe Vera isn't on Netflix as earlier advertised. In a Facebook post, he explains, "We are as surprised as you. As the producers and agent have no ideas this would happen and why it happened." In the quest to get answers, the film's representative...
Entertainment news. My name is Esiodua Akumia. Right?
All right, Esiodua, thank you so much for your time here on the news tonight. Coming up next is the latest update on the international front.
The Senegalese government has signed a peace deal with rebels from the country's southern province of Casamance, which could bring about an end to a decades-long conflict. The movement of Democratic Forces of Casamance has pledged to lay down at arms and work towards a permanent solution. The Senegalese president, Macky Sall, welcomed the agreement and thanked the president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoko Embalo, for mediating. Tensions remained high in South Africa on Friday after more than 8 people allegedly implicated in a gang rape were presented in court last Monday. The authorities blame illegal miners working in the region. On Friday morning, a group of illegal miners narrowly escaped an angry mob before the police intervened, whisking them away from the scene. At least 8 Palestinians, including a child, and a Palestinian Islamic Jihad commander have been killed, Gaza's health ministry says. It follows days of tensions after Israel arrested a senior PIG member in the occupied West Bank. The Gaza-based PIG had threatened to hit back by bombing central Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid said Israel will not allow terrorist organizations to set the agenda.